Hey everybody, and welcome to my basic. My name is Patrick, and well, it's just me by myself. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit today about forming RC parts for cheap for airplanes. Now, what I have here are 3 different molds that I made for cowlings for 3 different airplanes. And I'm going to be using a technique that is not my idea at all. In fact, I'm totally stealing this from another guy's video on YouTube, a guy named Steve Roberts, who does a great job, and I'll put a link to his video down below in this description. He uses a little bit different material to form his molds. I don't really have any experience with what he's using, but there's many ways you can go about this. The great thing about this is you're using a 2-liter bottle or a water bottle or whatever, a PET bottle, to just heat shrink around this form, and you get a really durable, really nice finish if you prep it correctly. So to begin with, I'll start out with the first form I ever made. This little guy right here. Now, this is for my first scratch-built plane I ever made. And I really liked the way it turned out. I mean, it didn't really fly so well. But maybe one of these days I'll get it up in the air. As a matter of fact, I have it right here, what's left of it. This is based on a civilian airplane called a Globe Temco Swift, which was produced back in the 1940s, and in my opinion is one of the most beautiful private planes ever made. Not this one, but the real deal. So anyway, basically I just used really cheap cooler foam, some balsa wood, underpowered motor, not enough space inside the fuse to put everything I needed in there, so it just was a bit of a flop. But I still think I could make this thing fly with the right electronics and the right motor someday. Anyway, back to this. I just made this from a scrap of wood I had laying out in the garage. And I rough cut it on a saw, and then just took a hand belt sander, smoothed it down into the shape that I wanted, and then I just heat shrink a plastic water bottle over it, just like this one right here. All you have to do is cut off the bottom, put that up inside, hit it with a heat gun, boom, you have a cowl. Now, right after I made this, my dog decided it would make a great chew toy. I'm not talking 15 minutes after I was done. Took it upstairs, I think I put it on my computer desk, come back 5 minutes later, full of dog tooth holes. But wood filler took care of that, my dog, who just stepped on the wing of my brand new Durafly Corsair a few minutes ago, by the way. So anyway, back to this. Next, this is a mold of a Hobby Zone Super Cub cowling. I made this out of plaster of Paris, and it's really easy to do. All I did was take an old cowl, tape up the holes, and fill it with plaster of Paris, let it set up, boom, done. Pull the old one off, throw it away. And finally, this is one that I've been trying to get done for forever now. This is for a scratch build I'm currently working on. On the flight test form, we have a little contest going on for the contest. Basically, what we're doing is we're building something that resembles something like an STOL, short takeoff and landing plane. And this is going to be my cowling for it. Now, my original plan was to fiberglass a piece of foam, remove the foam insert, and have a lovely little cowling. Didn't quite work out for me. I used Vaseline as a release agent, put on the fiberglass, Minwax polyacrylic as cheap resin. Didn't release so much. And I'm not ready to dissolve the foam. Plus, with the really thin fiberglass cloth that I have, I don't think it's going to have the structural integrity to hold up the way I want it to. So I'm going to use this as a form to heat shrink a plastic bottle over and have a nice cowling when done. Well, this is going to have to wait though, because I discovered, let me show you, we'll get to this in a second, but 2-liter bottle, cowling, doesn't fit. I can't tell you, I won't even go there. Anyway, I need a 3-liter bottle to get this to work out correctly. So hopefully today I can find something cheap. so I can get this done, because I'm really starting to feel the pressure of getting this dang plane built, because it's supposed to be done by July 1st. I'm leaving for a week on Friday or Saturday, so basically I've got, today's Wednesday, I got a couple of days to get this thing done, and I'm starting to get a little nervous. Anyway, to this. Now, in order to set this thing up so that you can make a form, in order to set this up so that you can go ahead and heat shrink a plastic bottle over a form like this, it's easy, it's helpful to go ahead and take some kind of a stick. Broom handle, half-inch PVC works really well, and just tape it onto the bottle or the opening of the bottle. And as a matter of fact, half-inch PVC inserts perfectly right inside the bottle opening. Next, I make a little stand, just foam board scrap. Make a little stand, drill it out, so that I can have a hand-free, hold this in place, manipulate it as I need to, and form my cowling. Now, of course, you don't have to form cowlings. You can form all kinds of parts, wheel pants, fairings, good lord, whatever you can think of. And the best thing is, you're just using stuff that's going to be recycled. Anyway, today I'm going to be making a new cowl for my Hobby Zone Super Cub. So, this will be my demonstration piece. Put it on the stand there. It's like a bubble head. As you can see, my Hobby Zone Super Cub needs a new cowling, among other things. This is what happens when it's like almost dark out, but the sky's still light, and you're flying around and like, oh, it's cool because you can see your plane really great silhouetted against the lighter sky. But as soon as you take this olive drab plane down below the tree line for landing, yeah, it disappears. Camouflage works really well in low light conditions backed by trees. It was a discovery I made the other day. Anyway, so I'll be making a new one for this plane right now. Let's see here. Now, as you can see, this fits nicely over the Super Cub cowl, not so much over the STOL cowl. But anyway, the key here is to not push this down so far, because what happens is the plastic is thicker up around the neck, and this stuff hardens. It gets really, really stiff as it heats and sets, so it doesn't really form well over the nose of the piece. So you kind of want to give yourself a bit of space. Now I'm going to start right about here, and you want to start working the heat gun in from the bottom. You want to seal it around the bottom first and work your way up, and hopefully it will just form in and be nice. Now look, you're not going to get, at least I'm not going to, you might, I'm not going to get like a professional looking cowling. Like, it's not going to look exactly what you go to the store and buy, but the nice thing about it is it's actually going to be more durable than the one you can buy from the store. And if you, since it's clear, if you spray paint the inside of it, it gives it a nice gloss finish. So anyway, that's that. Okay, so here's what we have so far. We have a form, in this case, for my Hobby Zone Super Cub, made out of plaster of Paris. It's got a hole in the bottom, stuck it on a stick so that I can go ahead, put the bottle down over it, and have a free hand to use my heat gun. What I've done is put a release agent on this. Now, earlier today, tried cooking oil. Was chatting with some guys online. Ryan on the forum. Ryan goes by the username of Crash Recovery. He suggested cooking spray. Sounded good to me. Tried it out. It didn't release so well. Not a big deal because I messed up the whole thing in the first place. Like I was saying earlier in the video, it's really critical the depth that you place the bottle over the form. If you put it down real tight, what happens here, it gets really thick up at this neck, and it doesn't shrink down very well. as I found out a little bit later, if you put it too low, what happens is you have this air pocket in here. And it seemed to me like the heat was just going right through the plastic. It wasn't really shrinking up the plastic a bit. So it's a bit of playing around. Wouldn't it be nice if a guy made a how-to video that really knew what the heck he was doing? Really. So anyway, what I'm thinking about doing is probably putting this right about there on the form, basically right where the bottle starts to neck up is where it's going to be held as I heat shrink this in place. Now, the release agent that I used, I'm trying out 2-cycle motor oil. 2-cycle motor oil. I don't know how it's going to work. I put a really thin coat on. Hopefully that will allow the plastic to release easier, because it really sticks to the plaster Paris. The plaster Paris, I don't know what it is about it. It's even though I've sanded it, I've actually put a coat of paint on it and let it dry. It seems to like be a sponge, even to something like plastic. It's kind of weird. So anyway, we'll see how this works out. Gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, gonna place it right about there. And what you want to do first is seal around the base, and then you're going to heat your way up so it kind of grabs the form as you go up. And once you get that first lip done, it'll lock in place pretty nicely, and then you'll be able to do a lot more manipulation with it, like that. Now, that's got a good bite started. So we're just going to work our way around and let it shrink up the mold. And this one seems to be doing a lot better than the last two, thankfully. There, hang on, getting a little bubble there. Don't want that wave. Came right out. Now we're going to start. Ah, yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Come on. Now, I'm going to be pretty happy with this one. Like I said, I'm not out for perfection. You certainly can achieve it with the right surface prep and time and enormous amounts of practice, but I got a plane to finish building. And I think I probably hit the point where, especially up here at the neck, it's done all the shrinking it's going to do. So I'm just going to go back over, see if I find any lumps, waves that didn't come out very well, and see if I can shrink them out. And I think it's coming out pretty well. Alright, so here we have the finished product. Looking it over after I finish heat forming it, again, it's not perfect. A little wrinkly up on the nose. I don't care. It's my Hobby Zone Super Cub, first plane I ever bought, modified brushless. It's been crashed so many times, but it just doesn't matter to me. But you can make very nice parts with this method. Like I said, it just takes some practice. I'm a bit out of practice, but it's doable. Anyway, next thing to do, of course, is to get it out off the form, and that's not necessarily simple either. So there we go. First thing to do is find your scissors that you put somewhere. Be right back. And trim around the base. Now, I'm not being very delicate about this. I'm just going to trim kind of close to where the form ends, and then probably just going to have to work at it from there. And I don't think I'm going to record this whole process because, well, it's probably going to take me a while to get this thing off of here. It's just one of those things. So, anyway, I'll be back once I have this off, hopefully in one piece, show you the way it turned out. And again, you know, it's not what you're going to go buy at the store, but it's free, cheap. I'm cheap. Bixler thinks he's cheap. I'll have a cheap off, Josh. Come on, bring it on. Anyway, like I said, I'll be back with finished product, and that's it. Okay, so here we are. I was able to actually pretty easily remove the cowl from the form. Oops. Compare it to one of the store-bought and broken ones. You know, okay. So the bottle didn't close down around the nose the way I had hoped, but you know what? I call that extra cooling. It's good for the ESC. Embrace it. It is actually it is a lot more durable than what you're going to buy at the store. It'll take an impact a lot better. And like I said, if you take your time, you practice a little bit more, play around with where you position the bottle on the form, you can get a very nice result. Again, but it's not going to be store-bought looking. So, I'm going to paint this up olive drab. I'm pretty happy with it. The white stuff you see inside, that's some of the paint that came off of the plaster pairs I painted this morning, and apparently didn't get dry. 2-cycle oil actually worked really well for the release. This was the easiest time I've ever had getting one of these off, so I'm pretty happy with the 2-cycle oil. So I'm going to call this a moderate success. Anyway, I hope you can use this in some way. If you want more or better information, go on YouTube. Steve Roberts, I believe is the guy's name. It's where I got this technique from. He claims he got it from somebody else. So this is one of those things that who knows who came up with this. But I'm glad they did, because I can make free stuff. Bonus, I got to spend half a day making something I could have gone to the store and paid $2.50 for. How cool is that? It's cool. So anyway, again, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you can use this in some way. If you have any questions, if you want to make fun of me, it's fine. Feel free. Oh, before I go, just a quick thing about the flight test in the forums. If you haven't been on the flight test forums, I invite you over. Come on over. Hang out with us. We're a bunch of good guys. I bet it's the friendliest RC forum that you're going to find out there on the interwebs. Very friendly, actually, and very helpful. We have a really diverse group of people on there from a diverse background, lots of different nations represented, and for 99.99% of the time, everybody gets along great. Great bunch of guys on there, lots of good information. So come on over. My name is Earth I Teach on there. You know, if I can help you out with an answer, I'll answer it. If I can make it up, I'll make it up. You know, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Anyway, thank you for watching. Man, this is getting... I just don't want to let you go. I'm like focused on this little camera blinking at me. Maybe this is my calling. Maybe I should be a teacher. Maybe I should go to Hollywood. Maybe. Probably not. Alright, have a good one, guys. Adios.